Welcome to Mama Beyond Sight, and I am your host, and my name is Sandra. Today's topic is answering or sharing my interpretation to some of the dreams that um, were shared on the community. Thank you so much for that. Here, you will find tarot ancestral messages as well as for intuitive readings, meditation, inspirational thought of the day, and of course, dream spiritual journaling. And together we rise. I have incorporated my counseling background with my spirituality in order to help you find some questions or answers to some questions you are seeking, or even for myself. Here at Mama Beyond Sight, we allow Spirit to guide us and show us the way. Discovering hidden truths within our dreams or our emotional state of being. So join us. I am your host, and my name is Sandra. Welcome to Spiritual Dream Journaling. And I am your host, and my name is Sandra. Today we're going to give my interpretation to some dreams that were shared on the community board or left in the comments. And you are welcome to journal in with us and share your interpretation. This is how we grow. This is how we learn. And sorry, my birds seem like they throw me seeds out the cage. Anyway, this is how we expand our knowledge, right? Because as I mentioned in my last video, there's no one size fit all. Okay, we have to look at the feeling that we felt while we was in this dream state, or the feeling that we felt when we came out of the dream state. It varies. Is it a spiritual dream? Is it a spiritual elusive dream? Or is it a message from your ancestors? You know, is it a spiritual message from your spiritual guides? Or is it a constructive, elusive dream? That many times plays out because of our struggles, our emotional state of being at the moment, or while what we went to sleep with in our heads. As I mentioned before, leaving the TV on, playing some horror show or witchcraft, whatever it might be, or even something simple, racing cars, baseball, basketball, it could seep in your dream state. All right. So, the first one I'm going to share is one of my subscribers, fam, asked that they always wanted to know what is dreaming with a dog. What is the meaning to that? Again, you could go Google it, okay? But again, as I mentioned before, you have to wait, you have to balance out, your emotional state of being, okay, your emotions, your feelings, on the earthly plane, and then cancel that out if there's none, to tag on to that dream. then we could look into the spiritual. But dreaming with dogs, depending on the color, the size, all this matters. All this you have to write down, journal. How many dogs did you see? Was the dog wagging its tail? Was the dog excited to see you, or was it afraid, etc.? Was it growling at you? All of these things have an interpretation. Okay, but the basics, the dog, um, seeing a dog in your dream, um, in the emotional state of being, could mean loyalty, because remember, dogs are very loyal to us. You know, they love us unconditionally, right? So it could be an unconditional love, all right? Um, or you seeking this type of relationship. Once again, it's not easy just to fit just one size to this. And but these are things to think about, you know. Am I in search of loyalty? Am I in a relationship that I feel the person is not loyal, or is loyal, and I'm bringing that into my dream because it's such an intense feeling, right? So you might be seeking for loyalty. You might be seeking for unconditional love. All right. You might be lacking in your awake state. Once again, one size doesn't fit all. If we look at it in the spiritual form, it also could mean loyalty, you know. But usually a spirit guide is attached to that, you know. It could mean you have a spiritual guide that has dogs, you know, like Saint Lazarus, Baba Luaye. And they actually weren't dogs, but they depict them as dogs. They actually were laughing hyenas that he walked around with. But wolf, dog, laughing hyena, same. No. But anyway, it could be a spiritual guide that is guiding you towards somewhere, you know, or guiding you away from something. All right, you have to write this down. Again, the size of the dog, if the dog was happy, etc. And it could be, a spirit trying to guide you, trying to change your path or show you um, this is the way to go. All right. Or sometimes it's just a spiritual guide giving you comfort. That's simple. And that is beautiful. Yeah. So I hope you keep journaling and write down your details. Once again, color, size, how many, angry, sad, and what was your feelings. All right, my lovelies. The next dream scenario was, I find this interesting, and I've often had spiritual elusive dreaming with this. But I also, when I do meditation, I try to go into my Akasha records to bring back information or to empower my spirit, my soul, with whatever information my spirit up in the ethers has for me, right? Sometimes in the and these Akasha records, you will find your past life, things that you did back then that you need to correct today. right? Sometimes it's just a word or just a feeling that you bring back in order to level you here on this earthly plane. So these doors are usually once again it could mean so many things. How many doors did you see? um the person fam said that they were afraid because there was banging from behind of one of the doors, you know. And once again, hidden truths, you know. Many times we and not many times, all the time, we fear the unseen, we fear the unknown. Okay. And this person is spiritual. Okay. And it's spiritual from heritage, you know, from family members, the link, you know. Maybe one skipped the chain because they went into something else, that just because you praise Jesus or God, going to a church doesn't mean that you're not doing spiritual work, right? So you're still doing spiritual work. You're still preaching the word. So you know, my point is that this comes from back from family and family and family, right? So so there's no stopping this. No matter how much you try to ignore it, no matter how much you want not to be part of it, it still lingers there. You know, you could control, you know, uh not crossing that threshold. But yeah, spirit is trying to give you a message, and they really trying to get your attention, you know. Again, the knocks on the door. How many knocks were they? Do you remember? Was it a vicious knock? You know, I know my subscribers said that they were very scared, but they didn't want to open up the door, and I'm glad you didn't, because when you're unsure, you know, you don't want to open up any door and allow that energy to flow towards you. You know, only when you're ready, if that's what you want to choose, right? So again, write down if you heard any knocks. You know, I mean, you did hear the knocks. How many knocks did you hear? Do you remember? Okay, that's important too. Okay, but what I found interesting, that after um, this person had that dream of these doors, and a couple of doors, I believe. I don't know. That's another thing. If it was 2 3 doors, usually I see multiple doors, and I always see one door open. But I'm in a balance. I try to balance myself out with the energy, the universe. Anyway, that's another thing you could write down. How many doors did you see? But sorry, they don't want me to go on, but I'm going to keep giving the message. Spiritually, you are being alerted. Okay, and if we want to look at it in an emotional state of being, there is something that's not being said, you know. There's secrets. there's hidden secrets, you know, or so they think it's a secret. But you already know. You already know. But anywho, what I found amazing that after this dream, um, the person opened up the front door, and because they heard a bang at the door, and this was while they were awake. This was in a live state of being. Uh, a bird had hit the door, and it just died. You know, as I said, this could be, nature within itself. This happens. But I scratched my head because of her or him having that dream. Right. This happened right after that dream. You know, when the person woke up that day, um, the bird hit the door and died. You know, once again, colors of the bird, size of the bird, what type of bird. Believe me, all that has a message. But in all, um, I got kind of eerie, when I heard that. That's that bird took the burden of whatever um, spirit was trying to get your attention to look at, you know. And usually, um, when an animal dies near your home, in front of your door, or inside the house, it has taken the burden of some spiritual nonsense, energy, negative energy, you know, when the house is overwhelmed with arguments, fights, um, negative behaviors, you know, this weighs down this animal, whether it's a bird, a fish, a dog, a cat, etc. You know, so maybe you want to look more into that, and the bird in hitting your door, that's letting you need to take another good look. And it could also be saying sickness. You see what I'm saying? There's quite a few different scenarios to these interpretations, but with more details and more on hand, you could clarify these dreams. And you could do it yourself, my lovelies. So, in closing, I'm going to share that I didn't have so much a dream, but awakened state. As I say, um, neither here or there, because I was just waking up from sleeping this morning, and I could hear that they gave me a name. I'm not gonna say the name, but I looked it up, and it's a name from the Congos. It's in a part of in Africa. Uh, yeah, so I'm doing some research on that, and I was amazed to find it, because I thought I made up that word myself, and no, it's actually a name of someone. Mm-hmm. Interesting, right? And then I could hear my mother telling me, "Put me on the table. Take me out and put me on the table." Yeah, I don't know what that is, but her birthday's coming um, actually on Monday, the 22nd. Yeah, it'll be her birthday. It'll also be my um, grandson's birthday. Yeah, Jeremiah. Hmm. Yeah, so maybe she wants some cake. I love my mama. So with that, I am clear, my lovelies. If you have any more dreams that you want to share with the community, and see what the community says, and feels out. It could be in a emotional state of being, or is it spiritual, elusive dreaming, right? My video before this asks you that question. All right. So thank you for your comments, and I appreciate you replying and sending me such wonderful responses. Oh wait, I have one more before I go. This was a while ago. Someone asked me, they keep dreaming with many demons. You know, again, that could play in an emotional state of being. You know, um, you're carrying a lot of regrets and this disgrace and uh, no remorse. You know, or in the spiritual form, this filters in. When there's a lot of fighting, a lot of arguments in the house, um, a lot of regrets, a lot of, as I mentioned before, the demons don't kill you instantly. They mess with your brain and your life little by little. Little by little. They'll start emotionally, making you second guess your husband, second guess your partner, not sure of yourself, okay? Not wanting to get up and do things without, oh my God, around the house or go to work, etc. So I believe I gave some other suggestion to this person, but and I'm going to redo a video in the near future about that. All right, so stay tuned. But yeah, we have to declutter our home and declutter our emotional state of being, and keep these negative spirits out of our path. And with that, I'm definitely clear. I am your host, and my name is Sandra. Be blessed and be well, my lovelies. Remember that a small star in the dark sky shines brightly, and you are shining, and we're going to shine together. Stay tuned. Mama and Poke Bronx, aka Uncle Rico, our sponsor, Gratitude Fest. And all my subscribers are invited. So hope I see you there. Come on. Wait, don't want to drop my dog or drop you. Well, be blessed and be well. My smooches. I'm scared to do it. Later.